I think that when this particular event happens, I'm just going to cry like a little baby. And what do I mean by this? Well, when our cannabis company from California writes us or sends us the first dividend check, I think I'm going to cry. Because for two reasons. MCE members own, I think, about 30% of the company, and it's a private company that I talked about before, and I own a lot of it too. So, but there is one step left to this strategy, and it is what this company does is that they are vertically integrated. So they grow their own stuff from the seed, and then they manufacture their own products, and then the idea is to take those products and sell it at retail through their own dispensary, which they are in the middle of building, right? So that's one way to make money. You grow your own stuff, you manufacture your own stuff, and you sell it at retail prices through a dispensary. Other business units there are, you grow your own stuff for yourself, and then you grow stuff for others. So that generates business. Then you manufacture for yourself and you manufacture for others, right? By using their own grow, for example. But when you don't have the dispensary, then whatever you grow, you have to sell either bulk to somebody else, or you have to manufacture the product, whether it's joints or whatever, and you have to sell it to other dispensaries, wholesale, right? And if a dispensary is buying something wholesale, and let's say they're reselling it for $10, well, they're not going to pay you $10 for it, right? They're going to pay you $5 for it. So your margins are lower. But now, if you have your own dispensary, then instead of getting $5 for whatever you grew, now you can sell it for $10 at your own store, right? So that's where the strategy behind this company comes into fruition. Now, they have been building the dispensary, and there was a bottleneck, and you're not going to believe what the bottleneck was. Like when you're thinking of building things, you're thinking of like, oh, you need to get permission from the city or from the state, or from the country. You need to get a permit for something, blah, blah, blah. And that's the bottleneck. You know what the bottleneck for this is? The electric company connecting electricity to the property. Like they have been begging this utility company to connect the utilities for 6 months. For 6 months. Okay? And there's obvious discrimination against cannabis companies. But they literally had to involve the city, because the city wants this dispensary to be built, because they're going to, make tax revenues, serious tax revenues. They literally had to involve the city, and they had to, I think, involve even a senator for the freaking utility company to move and do their job. And finally now things are starting to happen, and then hopefully by the end of June or maybe by July 4th, this will be finished. And that's when huge cash flow can be generated through this company. And that's when I think that's when I know they would be able to pay a dividend, right? And now the reason why I said that it would literally make me cry, because MC owns about 30% of it, right? And looking at the numbers, they can probably at some point when things are running, do a dividend of like $5 million. So that would be like $1.5 million to MCE members for financing this company. That would be amazing to be able to say, man, I delivered so much value for them. I helped deliver so much value for them, because that $5 million would equate to about 25 cents per share. And that's what they paid for their shares. So they would get their money back in the first year of dividends, right? And for me, it would be amazing, because I would finally have the cash flow that is not tied to manic depressive Mr. Market. Because everything I make, whether it's books, MCE, is tied to this maniac. When stocks go up, people want to be part of MCE. People have money to be part of MCE. People have money to invest, right? And when the stocks go down, because manic depressive market decided he doesn't want to buy pictures of monkeys today, and he doesn't want to buy anything, and everything is going to zero, and we're going to have the worst recession since the Great Depression, well, then people don't have the money. People blame me for things, right? And those that don't blame me simply don't have any liquidity. So everything is tied to this maniac. So for me, it would be just amazing to have cash flow that is completely unrelated to this maniac. And that's why this company right now is private, and they might go public. But from my point of view, it's like, don't go public. Don't let this manic depressive destroy your stock price. He doesn't care about anything. He doesn't care about dividends, cash flow, nothing. Remember, we're going to have the worst recession since the Great Depression. Maybe we're going to have Great Depression. That's according to him. So don't give it to him. Don't go public. Just stay private and pay us dividends. And then we can take that money and do whatever, pay bills with it, or reinvest in things that Mr. Market doesn't want to touch because they're going to zero. So yeah, so I'm very, very much looking forward to the moment where we receive our first dividend check. You have no idea.